And we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Search. So, talking about how we would implement search in a full stack application. It's kind of interesting because it's a cross-cutting concern. There's a little bit of front-end stuff to that, a little bit of back-end stuff to that. Also interesting because it lets us practice a little bit of domain logic. Shoot. Um, let's start strategizing this a little bit. So I want to do this with the same full stack app we were doing yesterday. So Backwire. So the way that I'm thinking this will work is we'll want some kind of search field. And then we'll have like a button. And so we probably want two states for this. So this is probably going to be on its own page. Or, tell you what, maybe we put this on one of these on the main page. Oh, fuck yeah, I'm already falling in love with this idea. We could put all of this in a component. And we can put that on the main page. And then when you actually submit something to search, you can navigate to like a search results page that also has this thing on it. And then just displays the results below it. And maybe it's a I don't know, some kind of like partial name match sort of thing. All right, let's give it a shot. So back over to, this was Barkwire, I think FS demo and API was yesterday. Sounds about right. Excellent. That was it. All right, so I'm going to start up a new tmux session. Let's see, I'll also start up the server. So the server was in Barkwire API. I will mvnw Spring Boot run it. Cool, looks like it launched okay. All right, cool. So that's at localhost 4200. All right, and all this is there. So first thing I'm gonna do, let's componentize this add dogs form. Actually, let's do this. Let's just get out of the way. App component HTML. So in a just world, all this belongs in its own component. For right now, I just don't want to see it. All right, cool. So I want to do all my search stuff up here. So I'm going to make a form for that. For a form to be accessible, it needs to have a label. doesn't actually need to be visible on the page. It sort of does. I'll show you a common trick for how we can make this look a little bit more normal in a second. But we'll have a ID of search. Search is also a type. It hints to the browser like maybe you want to see your previous searches, like that sort of stuff. Give it a name. And then we need a submit button. Cool. So for this, I'm going to give this a placeholder. So usually you want to put examples of the kind of thing that somebody could search for here. So we could do something like Bix, ME, harm. Cool. And then let's style that. Call this the dog search form. You notice how like already the form doesn't look like shit? When you style as you go, you find like so much less work that you need to do as you go on. A lot of these things just kind of end up taking care of themselves. All right, but I do want to lay this out just a little bit differently. I'm going to say that the label, so here's the accessibility trick that you can get to pass WCAG or something like that. So this is still in the accessibility tree. It'll show up as the label for that input. Did I attach it? No, I didn't. For search. Still shows up in the accessibility tree, but if I don't want to see it, I can absolutely position it. So that takes it out of the document flow, and then you can do something like left negative a bajillion pixels, and now it just doesn't show up on the page anymore. It also didn't affect document flow at all because it's absolutely positioned. So that might be like an evil thing that I just taught you. It's like, here's how you get around accessibility guidelines. But like I said, it still actually uses the accessibility API. So screen readers still see it in the same place. All right, so, and then for the button, I want to...
Will that affect any kind of testing you do on your site?
Depends on how the test works. It's in the DOM, so if it's trying to get to that thing through the DOM, no problem, it's there. If it's a visual testing tool, like it goes to particular pixel things, or if it tries to like actually click on it by simulating a mouse click, it's off the canvas, so you can't actually click on it. You can fire a click action on it, so I guess that's my complicated way of saying it depends. Now here's something I'm actually not sure about. So what I want to do is have it look sort of like this, where this takes up however much space the content takes up, and then this takes up the rest of it. My natural inclination is to do that with Flex, but I actually have 3 children for that, but one of them is absolutely positioned. I have a hunch that Flex is just going to override the absolute positioning, but I'm a little curious. No, it didn't. it totally ignored it. That's pretty cool. So then I can say that the thing with a type of submit, actually, the thing with the type of search, there's a property called flex. Oh, come on. That's the opposite of what I wanted it to do. So that flexed it down. Maybe I need to tell that to flex grow, and I need to tell the submit to flex shrink. Will that do it? No, that just made them even. If I set the flex basis of the submit button, can I set that to auto? Is that a legal property for that? Nope. Nope. Huh. Really wish I had a fractional unit right now. All right, so maybe that's a sign. So I'm going to make that a grid, and it's going to be a 1 row, 2 column grid. So the grid template rows is just going to be auto. The grid template columns is going to be 1FR and auto. And the label will not be on the grid. This will be grid row 1 span 1. It'll do that automatically. I don't need to put that in there. The column will be 1 span 1. And then that one will be 2 span 1. Hey, there we go. That's kind of what I was talking about. And then let's constrain this entire thing. We can make it same as this. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little more. All right, cool. That's not so bad. All right, now the behavior of this. Actually, I'm going to componentify this. So this is dog search form. So I will npx ng generate component dog search form. Cool. So I will take that out, dog search form HTML, put it in there instead. Then back over here, that becomes app dog search form. All right, so that's back in now. I just need to move the style back over. Dog search form SCSS. And it's got its styles back. Cool. So the behavior of this is I want to, when this gets submitted, I want to fire off a request to the API with whatever the search term is. Okay. So I'm going to look at this thing here. I'm going to make this search term. That feels more descriptive. And then I need to do all of my Angular form tricks. So this is dog search form equals ng form. It has an ng model on it, and it has an ng on submit. That actually, let me look at the example app component HTML. On the ng submit event, it calls whatever thing with the name of the form.value. All right. So when that event happens, we call search for dog, search dogs, yeah, with the dog search form dot value. Cool. So now it goes, hey, you don't have a search dogs thing. So I go dog search form search dogs, and then I need to tell it that it's getting an argument. I can destructure out the search term. Nope. I want to form values, which is going to be, so the type of that will be something with search term, which is a string. Maybe I can't destructure it out. All right, took that. All right, let's see if it works. So if I put Bix here, it does not appear to have done anything. That's all right. So new dog form. This. Okay, ng on submit. That should fire the submit method. It should call search dogs with dog search form dot value, which should have search term as the name. Maybe it's because it doesn't know how to read the snake case. Feels like it's not getting anything though, which is not what I want. Was it app component HTML? Make a reference, pass in ng form, ng submit, ng on submit. There we go. Listening for an event that never fires. Yep, there it is. Hey, cool. Now I'm curious, can I go back to doing the name correctly? I bet I can. So if I make this one Bix, didn't do it. That's too bad. Okay, so now it can get something out of this search form. So now what we need to do is figure out what happens when that navigation occurs or when that form gets submitted. So I think the thing we talked about was like navigate to a search results page and then show the results there. I like that. So what if it's, so we make a view. This will be like ng generate component search results view. So do I want to put the word view in there? No. Okay, so this is going to be a page that I route to. So if I head over to the router, add a route for results that has a component of search results. Import that. Cool. Then while I'm at it, let's make a home page. So we need to say like, all right, what shows up there like the rest of the time. So like that's a dogs list maybe. So when the path is nothing, the component is dogs list. Then import that. All right, so now I've got these two routes in here. So reminder, that's an index route. That's the / results path. So whoa. Now I need to move that like list of dogs and stuff into the dogs list component. It's like all this stuff. So dogs list component HTML, that all goes there. It's going to freak out because it doesn't know where dogs come from now. They come from mommy dogs. So that means that needs to all go here. That stuff that was on the app component HTML. App component. Oh, because I want the TS. So this is going to need those same things that this had before. So I can probably just copy like all this over. And this service and the model. All right, cool. So then instead of that dogs list, then this becomes app dogs list. Beautiful. Or no, actually, I don't want to instantiate it there. What I want to do is put my router outlet there, which was a router outlet. Beautiful, does the same thing. I do want to get this moved away though. So I will put that All right, cool. Now my dogs list component SCSS needs the styles for that new dog form. App component SCSS. Cool. New dog form looks all right. Okay, so this search, right now I've got that happening on every page. I don't hate that. It's all right. So I could say that whenever that gets submitted, I want to navigate to the search results page. So let's handle that navigation first. So the first thing I'm going to need is a what was it? Search results page. Nope. Search form. Yes. So whenever this happens, I want to navigate to that. So that's a programmatic navigation. That means I'm going to need my router service injected. How about I check my own notes on how to do that? Programmatic navigation. So I want to inject the location service. Cool. And then I want location, or this dot location dot go. And I sort of wonder if it will, if I just put in a path, I called that search results, I think. Will that do the SPA routing, or is it actually going to try to route me there by like starting a new HTML HTTP request? Guess we'll find out. All right, I had it under results. All right, cool. So I should see search results works if I do anything here. No. Now, it didn't give me an error either. Like, oh, maybe it's, I'll bet it's that. Hey, took me there. So if I go Bix, it updated the URL, which is kind of curious, but it didn't actually navigate me. Let's see, Angular router redirect. Yep, yep. No. So I'll say programmatically route, navigate to route. Love seeing this with that syntax highlighting. I think it's actually easier. Navigate. I'll bet that's it. Yeah. And it's the router, not the location. That makes more sense. So let's inject all of that. This dot router navigate. And it wants an array. All right, cool. That's there. If I say Bix and search, hey, it takes me there. That's what you want to see. So now I need to do some other stuff too. I need to pass that search term in through the query string. This is like a canonical example of when something is supposed to be a query parameter, because I want to be able to keep my search results for Bix and like bookmark those, email them to someone else. Like it needs to be part of the URL somehow. So that is a like slam dunk query params kind of thing. So probably the easiest way to do that is, let's check this. I can probably interpolate it directly into that string, but I sort of want to see if there's a better way to do it. Angular router navigate. So let's look at the docs. Router reference. Oh, cool. They use reference the same way that the Java docs do. It's even better than the one that I wanted. Oh, you wanted the API docs. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, that's what I want. An array of URL fragments with which to construct the target URL. So you can pass segments in too. All right, let's see what happens if I just try to interpolate it in. So I will change that to this, and then say search equals search term. All right, let's see if it does it. All right, so if I look like that, let's watch the URL. Didn't like something. Womp womp. Angular router navigate with query params. This looks like a good one. Oh, it wants you to pass the query params in as a second argument. Oh, that kind of makes sense. I like that better anyway. All right, so then that becomes query params, which is an object, which will have search. Actually, how about, Yeah, search is search term. All right, let's try that. Hey, look at that. Now I got it up in the query params. So to pull it out of the query params, boy, Sika, how do I do that? I feel like there was something in here. Maybe? Maybe not. I'll bet it's exactly the same as getting... Ah, come on, man. But it's just like getting dynamic segments out. Any day now. All right, so activated route. This is going to be in the results TS. So we'll import activated route. Cool, and then that gets injected in. Cool. And then in our on a knit, why is that mad? In our on a knit, we can do like this dot route query params. Oh man, they're I see they're exposed as an observable. Oh, that's sick. Because query params can update in real time. Like, think like when you put pins in like a map or something like that. That's a really elegant solution to a very difficult problem that no other framework has a good solution to. Like the React one is hideous. Ember doesn't even have one. That's pretty cool. So that's params. All right. And then let's keep track of the search term, which actually I'll just initialize it. All right, there's something about this syntax that I screwed up. It does not like. That's fine. That's fine. Private route, activated route. All right, I'm gonna kill it. Search results component. Oh, I think it's that one maybe. Nope. All right, all seems to be well now. So then I can do something like this dot search term equals params dot search. And wants me to do it with bracket lookup. That's okay. All right. So now when I navigate to that page, I should get the search term. I probably want to also do something like, so this is going to be the results. the results is going to be an array of dogs. And we'll start as an empty array. And let's import the model for that. So then I probably want to do something like use my dog service to like look up dogs. I actually don't need to save this search term. I'll do it anyway. I thought of a way I could use it. So I probably want to do something like also put in the dog service. So private dog service is a dog service. So that gets imported too. So I do like this dot dog service dot search, and then pass in this dot search term. So that's going to come back with an observable. So I'll subscribe to it. And then take the dogs that I get back. I'll take the response that I get back from that and set this dot results to response dot dogs. Yeah, something like that. So we're in the dog service. I need a search method now. Takes in a search term, which is a string, and then returns this dot http dot get. Also comes back with a dogs response. And it'll be whatever the environment's base API URL is, /dogs. And let's say dogs/search. That's actually not like the most restful way I could do that. That is a straight up RPC style of making an API request. Not important. I'll need to make a new endpoint for /dogs/search NBD. But otherwise, I think that's about right. Oh, and I need to add the search term. Maybe something like that. I might want to like URLify that search term first, but I think it's okay. Now is... All right, that thing's not mad at me anymore. As far as the front end is concerned, I think this is about done. Oh, I need to display the search results too. So that would be search results HTML. So right now it's just this. It's really like mostly the same as that dogs list. Actually, it's like exactly the same as the dogs list. So check this out. Right now the dogs list is in charge of getting its own dogs. Nay, I want it to like accept dogs. So did I already take those out of the app component TS? Nope, I didn't. Beautiful. So what I'm going to do instead, for my dogs list component, instead of having all of this be in charge of how it gets dogs, its dogs are going to be an input. And now I don't need any of that. I am going to need to handle that adding dog. Because like since it doesn't have a like this.dogs thing that it can just directly add to anymore, that's very bad form to modify something that's a bound input. Don't do that. So we really want this add dog thing to also happen on the app component. We just need some way to like handle that. Cool. So now this doesn't need an on init handler anymore. It doesn't need this service. It doesn't need most of this stuff. Cool. So now over in the app component HTML, this dog search form, or sorry, I think I did this differently. Oh shoot, it routes directly to that. I'm going to call that a dogs index. That way I can reuse that. Oops. That way I can reuse that dogs list component for my search results. So now instead of rendering that dogs list thing directly, this will be a dogs index component. And then all of the stuff that was in the app component TS, in the app component TS, all this stuff, I'll move that into the dogs index. So then that becomes the view. It's generally a good idea to have your view responsible for interacting with services, doing all that kind of shit. The dumber you can keep your components to where the only things they know about the world are the events they emit and the things that bind down into them, it'll make your life better. So this one. All right, cool. So now this dogs index component, if I go over to the HTML of it, I can do something like app dogs list is that what it was called? App dogs list. So that's the selector. App dogs list. How strange. Try loading it again. App dogs index. How is that not a known element? This should be able to do something like bind dogs to dogs. So let's take the error at its word. Let's see if it's actually part of this module. Should have been. If I say app module dogs index component and dogs list component are in the same modules. It's mad about something though. Seer results component. Uh-oh, that's a problem. Oh, I don't want it to be called that at all. That's not what it's called. Search results. That is what this class is called, though. That's a problem. Yep, that'll break everything. All right, let's find that module again. All right, all this is not so mad anymore. And my dogs index HTML is also no longer mad at me. Excellent. So now I can pass in this dogs index, and while I'm at it, I want to do that same thing with the search results HTML. So we're going to bind this to the results of the search. Here's how we can fake this out to like get some confidence that all this works. Did it actually try to do the search? Yeah, it looks like it did. Okay, so I do some search. All right, excellent. I can get rid of that form now too. App component HTML. Or maybe it's just there. I can put something if there's no dogs. That's like a pretty good use of conditional logic. So the search results HTML. I can say like ng if results.length, and then have an ng template. All right, cool. That's what we want to see. So if there aren't any results, it shows that message. Otherwise, it renders a dogs list. That'll work. All right, so that should be pretty good for the front end. And what we want is to have a dogs search thing on our back end. So over in the API, maybe we go over to the controller. And this is a lot like our listing thing. We say we want to get mapping for search. So right now, that'll just bring back everything. I think that's all right. Okay, didn't like that. Let me see if I got that get mapping right. I can't remember if that one has to have a leading slash on it or not. Oops. Looks like it does. Yeah, that's fine. So that should hit /dog/search. Let's see if it does. It went to dog/search, okay. But yeah, it didn't hit the cores. Oh, it's no, it doesn't have an API prefix on it. I'll bet I need to reorder these. Because the way these things tend to work is like a first match. Oh, and they have the same method name. That's a problem. Yeah, I'll bet that was it. Hey, there we go. So when I do a search, right now I just get everything back. So, so now my service, like this is domain logic, like search for a dog. So what I really want is like a search method here, and I need to get that that query param out. So the annotation for that request param. There we go. So if I say that something is a request param, that is a string of search, should be able to pass that in there. There we go. Let me import it. All right. It's almost definitely just one of these. Yeah, there we go. Nope. All right, whenever that catches up, that should stop barking at me, pun intended. And then in my dog service, I need a search method now. So if I go over to dog service, then I need something for it's going to be just like list, except it's called search. It takes in a string that's a search term. And then I should be able to do all of that. Okay, that caught up. I think this one will in a sec. Cool. This should still work the same way. I'm just moving stuff back slowly. Cool, all still works. So now, last step of this, I need to find a way to make that repository only give me back things that match that search term. So, probably the best way to do that is to maybe use like a stream and a filter on this. Oh, it's an iterable though. Iterables don't have streams. So that means I got to turn it into a collection first. I'm pretty sure that you can just cast it. So I could do something like list of dogs is just a cast like that. Need to import the list class from util. Yeah, but that's a stupid way to do it though, because like iterables aren't lists. All right, let's see, Java iterable to list. All right, I like that. Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to make a list of dogs called dogs list. This will go back to being an iterable, not casting anymore. And then this is, I'm just going to declare it. And oops. New list of dogs. Yeah. And then I'm going to do dogs dot for each. That's a thing that exists on iterables. And then for each one of those, I want to call dogs list add. Cannot instantiate the, oh, it needs to be a specific kind of list, which probably also needs to be imported. There we go. All right, everybody stop yelling at me. All right, so now this dogs list I can stream. So I'm going to dogslist.stream and filter and this is going to be for each dog. And then the thing that I want to do is if dog.getName equals, yeah, I'll just do a straight across equal before I do any other kind of like fancy matching. Equals the search term, or I can maybe just return that directly. Yeah, return that. Nice. And then I need to collect it. So collect Java to list. Yeah, to list is on this collectors class. Yeah, it looks like that. So to wrap up our like transformation, we'll do collect collectors to list. Then collectors comes from stream utilities. And so this will be also a list of dogs. It will be called filtered dogs. And then we're going to return filtered dogs. And everything else should kind of work on that. Okay, so this will only find like exact matches right now, but I think it will find them. So let's see if it does. Oops, nope. Okay, so if I look for Mesa, hey, look! I got my one result back. Outstanding. Okay, so if I want to do something like a little bit sexier than that, I can't just use equals. I want to do something like string dog name equals dog dot get name. Then I have search term. And so I want to do like a regex comparison. Java, maybe just substring. Or like Java test for test for match. Matches. String dot matches. Cool, and then it just takes in a normal regex. I'm into that. So I want to return, oh, and I'm also going to lowercase this to lowercase. And then make like I'll do the same thing with the search. So then I will return dog name dot matches, and then shoot, I should really use a string builder for this, but I think this will work. Let's see. Plus search plus all right. That's kind of sloppy regex writing, but I think it'll do it. Search term. Okay. Moment of truth. If I want to find a dog that has a Y in it, so that should get Bixby and Harmony. Oh, and it also got my Bixby clone. but it didn't get Mesa. Hey man, my search worked. If I want to get everybody with Bixby, uppercase or lowercase in it, hey, there's my 2 Bixbys. Search is working. Mic drop. So this last leg of it, which I know like Parnell in particular has been super interested in and hasn't gotten for like 3 days. There's an example of like doing some gymnastics in a service. So we got all of the dogs back from the repository, but we don't want all the dogs. We want matching dogs. So we put this domain logic for what counts as a matching dog in this. First, we had to turn it into a list, because a list is a collection, so we can stream it. An iterable is not a collection, so we can't stream it. So then we filtered it. This is just Beyonce shit right here. Like, of this big long array, only give me back things that match like this. So we did that. We turned it back into a list, and then sent it back to the controller. So, having done all that, add search functionality. Deploy the API. Oops. I probably should have committed like 100 more times than this. All right, so I deploy my front end, I deploy my back end. And whenever those go live, so that would be Barkwire full. Oh no, the Netlify one had a weird name. Netlify. While I'm waiting for that, questions. I jibber jabbered for a long time.
So if we wanted to create other search criteria, such as one for the name, one for the description, or even one for the URLs or the image URL string, it would literally just be those same steps, but fill in the blank for whatever criteria.
Yeah, this logic that I did here. This can be anything. Like it just needs to return true or false if it counts as a match.
What's the benefit of doing that in the API as opposed to doing it when you get the response back in Angular?
Oh, you totally could. You absolutely could be doing all of this in Angular if Angular has all of the search results. It's not a big deal if there's 10 dogs, if there's 10,000, or, oh, I don't know, 20,000 student responses. You can't keep it all in the browser, so you can't search for all of it. The server has access to all of that stuff, so it can give you like a filtered list back.
Okay.
Great question. All right, so I think there was a couple cats in here. Kyle clone. All right, which of these have CA in the name? There you go. Which ones are pigs? There you go. Más preguntas. hope that helped. I'm going to transition into study hall. Stick around. Sort yourselves out as you see fit. Elsewise, let's do some study hall.